Susan. Susan.
You better not be! Not in my house!
Fuck you, Michael! Go away!
I'm paying
Watching this weirdo brainwash kids instead of me.
my own bed?
Michael, go away!
No, I'm sorry, bro. She said you had an arrangement.
You and I are gonna have an arrangement. I'm gonna arrange your fucking funeral.
I'm really sorry, bro. I'll comp the session. I promise.
You are dead, man!
Fuck.
Dead! Come here! Ah! Fuck, man.
Hey, you! Stop it!
What's up, man?
Get out of my way.
Michael, calm down.
What the fuck is going on?
Nothing happened. It was a
She
misunderstanding.
fucked a brick in my bed.
You bullshitting
It
me.
wasn't like that.
You in?
Fuck it, I'm in. Let's roll. Let's get this motherfucker.
Just don't kill him!
He brings in a lot of revenue.
You got the wrong idea, man.
There's a winch in the back of the truck. Tied a cable to one of those supports up there.
You fin-
Destroy his YouTube career.
Brick pulled my marriage down.
Man, you really gonna be this fucking dramatic?
Yeah, whatever.
I told you I'd comp the session, bud.
But there were a lot of freaking sessions, bud! I'm thinking you were working on more than just her backhand!
Mandy's backhand has come a long way, bro. But sometimes it's gotta get worse to get better.
Yeah, well, maybe I should come up there and practice my backhand! On your...
Discord.
Bud, your negative energy is seriously bringing me down.
Oh, I hope it is, bud!
We hooked up, man.
You come into my house, take my money, and nail my wife? Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm gonna stick up my hand and say that was uncool, bud. My bad. Seriously.
How fucking magnanimous! May I please offer you my applause? You fucking motherfucker!
Dude!
And we'll see how you like it when someone fucks with your shit!
Well, hey, wait! You got the wrong idea, pal! Whoa! Fuck!
Here we go! Let's see what happens!
Dude, you are probably crazy.
Oh, shit! You see this shit, dog? Come on, man, do it to him! Hey, homie, ain't drugging outside tonight, dog! Man, get some force on that motherfucker! Are you fucking serious, nigga? Ah! Fucking A! Let's see how he liked that! Whoa, man! Fuck! Fuck him! And fuck his
YouTube career.
It's done. It's done. You're not.
Well, boys, so Sneako is a fella that exists. Sneako, ever heard of him? I know I haven't before August 2022. Who is it? Just some lad? Just some guy?
Oh, he's just some guy. Oh, he's just some guy. That's all it is.
Hey, this fella popped up like an argument at a family reunion sometime around now, and I just want to talk about it. So Sneako's YouTube channel got taken down, so this is kind of a life tribute. Right? It was good while it lasted, but rest in peace, you won't be missed type thing, innit? I'll be honest, I'm jealous of Sneako. Not only because he garnered such a large success on YouTube, but how he has such an influence on the youth today. Right? Especially with the downfall and the cancellation of people like Andrew Tate. And for the lads, for the kids, for the impressionable young ones in his audience, I'm sorry I wasn't there for you. Right? I could have taught you real masculinity without hating women and minorities. But history had other plans, it seems. But I'm here to fix that. It's all this talk about toxic masculinity, and this all has to do with the whole being alpha. Right, alpha males. What's that? You know, when people say being an alpha male, that creates this kind of veneer of duty and morality and purpose in life. But in reality, people who say they want to be alpha males just want to live life without any responsibility, right? Which is a form of extremely over-idealized masculinity that's often pushed by people like Sneako, Andrew Tate, the infamous Fresh and Fit, right? But their version of masculinity is just so extreme that by their critics is often called toxic masculinity. That, however, implies that there is still a good kind of masculinity, Godspeed. So thankfully, if you're a kid on the internet without a pat in life, or a father, you don't have to be like these people. This video isn't just about how Sneako fell down the pipe. or how his young one got piped. Toxic masculinity, capitalism, Andrew Tate, part 0.1, the introduction. Now, straight off the boat, I just want to address, you all know the story of Sneako. You know how he started off as Mr. Charismatic Man behind the camera, doing all these interviews in the New York Metro. All the stuff with Mr. Beast. You know, he's on, maybe you know him from, Rain the Leader. That's not what we're here to talk about. That's not what we're interested in. What we're interested in is the juice. Is how the failings of third wave feminism has opened up the doors for these cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers like Sneako, rave and have the crack with the young impressionable kids in their audience about the values of hating women and minorities. Great stuff. So is there a way to combat this? Well, let's find out. Platforming. Now, I'm not going to sit on my high horse here and say that Sneako is somehow below me and that he doesn't deserve a platform, he doesn't deserve to speak his mind. I'm here to say that he's a victim of propaganda the same way that the impressionable kids in his audience are. Just believe in the opposite. The fact that he doesn't know it is what's dangerous, not him himself, right? Because he's a victim of the same people, you know, it's a cycle, you know, they create people like Sneako, and then he creates people like himself, and that's exactly how these ideas spread. Stochastic terrorism is what we call it in the business. I'm also not going to be like some people and grill this fellow over simply having the wrong opinion. In the marketplace of ideas. No. I think Sneako's ideas deserve to be challenged, and quite frankly, I don't think he's that bad of a guy. The feckin' gimp. You know what I mean? Like I said. But we still need to combat his ideas. His ideas are dangerous after all. I'm going to explain why. Now, call me Emily or an SJW, but this whole QAnoner, brain-lit conspiracy theory bullshit is actually quite prominent, right, in these kinds of circles. It's the most prominent set of ideas in these kinds of circles, because it's really easy to spread just like your ma's cheeks. It's like the flat earth, or the Jewish question, but simply by the fact that you're not like the other sheep in the herd, you think differently. And when it comes to Sneako, one thing that couldn't illustrate it any better is this quote from a thread on Destiny subreddit. Why Sneako won't be convinced in the debate. Conspiracies are literally just a drug for him. He gets dopamine from thinking he's uncovered truth about the world that everyone else is blind to. Some people believe them for different reasons, but this is 100% why he's obsessed with them right now. I was watching a video of him on Tristan Tate, and pretty much straight away, with a glazed look in his eyes, said something like, "Can you tell me some wild thing that the elites are doing that no one else knows about?" He says the exact same thing to Nick too after they had already been talking about insane conspiracy theories. Mark my words, Sneako is 100% going to end up believing in flat earth. He'll probably end up talking to Eric Dubé. It's always the Erics. And he'll be convinced almost immediately. This is a personality trait of his. I remember watching the video of him buzzing his hair years ago and cringing even back then. He loves to be perceived as a unique outsider. Gateway without actually being acknowledgeable, whatever. You get the picture, right? Fella's into his conspiracy theories. Eats them up like a bowl of Weetabix in the morning.
You little special snowflake, yeah.
And this is why shit like this really works on kids, because you don't have to use your brain to believe in this shit. Daddy Sneako could just say, the government is always wrong. Painting your nails is gay, because I'm an alpha male, and I said so, alright? See, they don't have to read literature written by Noam Chomsky. Watching Sneako is enough for them. Back it up and they'll believe him, because he's a cool... So Sneako, if you just so happen to stumble upon this video, this is my chance to show you I could be your daddy. You've been corrupted by the dark side, but I can show you the way back to the light. You have to listen to me. You have to trust me, Sneako. They say how it's going to work if you don't. But I think the people that should be watching this video and taking notes are Sneako's fans, people that watch him, people that like him. Because ye are the pillars to his GPO, in a way. Now, is it his fault? We're going to be talking about how in fact Sneako is himself a victim of toxic masculinity. And and why he's going through this quarter-life crisis of his. Now, I'm not going to pretend that I know much about Sneako and his life and how his life choices led him to where he is now, but I have a general idea. Little Birdie told me that apparently Sneako is an absolute gimp and watched his girlfriend feek other lads in front of him, which probably is what led him to this quarter-life crisis of his. He talked about all of this on the Peer-to-Peer podcast, where he said a bunch of shit. You didn't really listen to it at all, but whatever it was, it led him to cheating on his girlfriend. Whether it was related or not is irrelevant, because after the breakup with his girlfriend, he clearly started exhibiting traits of some kind of undigested trauma, which, or maybe the effects of his bottled up anger over something, right? And what was it? Because he was completely normal up to that point. All his other videos, where he talked about social issues, all his little I'm 14 and this is deep type videos where, you know, he might have been like, you know, kind of up over his head, you know, but he was a young chap and he thought he was deep, he thought he was thought-provoking, so we'll give him that. And say whatever you want about Sneako's content from back in the day, it's a lot better than what he's doing now, anyway.
Society and nations, we hate our leaders, we hate our culture and history. Our culture no longer seeks to uplift, but to denigrate.
Right, so let's stop baiting around the bush here. Why is Sneako sexist and why is sexism bad? That's what I want to know. Part 2. What is toxic masculinity and how does Sneako exhibit it? Now, before you go off on me for being a triggered SJW, right? I fucking am, but still. What is toxic masculinity, right? Because it's not just regular masculinity. Because if it were regular masculinity, it would just be called masculinity, right? But it's not, right? So what does the toxic in front of it mean, really? Well, for example, if you look at the Google definition of toxic masculinity, it says, toxic masculinity, noun, set of attitudes and ways of behaving stereotypically associated or expected of men, regarded as having a negative impact on men and on society as a whole. The destructive messages associated with toxic masculinity can lead to men feeling entitled and blah 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 blah, and vigilant, engage in violence against women. Okay? But that's fucking boring, right? We're not looking for all these like Harvard textbook definitions, right? So what is my definition of toxic masculinity? Toxic masculinity. Toxic masculinity aren't just aspects of masculinity that are negatively affecting women, a la rape culture, stuff like that. Toxic masculinity mainly affects men, and that's the problem Sneako himself had to face. So in which ways is he toxically masculine? And how does it affect men? Right, so when I say it affects men, one of the ways it does is, for example, they think that since they're all alpha and macho, that they don't have to go and seek therapy for any mental health problems they have, or just flat out denying that they have them. Ring any bells, right? Obviously Sneako's going to be the man for the job. That's exactly what he does. He denies that he has mental health problems and makes fun of others, mainly women, who have them, because he sees it as something disgusting, degenerate and weak to simply have mental health problems. But the truth is, Sneako, life is hard. The real world is hard. I know when you were 14 making thought-provoking videos, this didn't really turn any gears in your head, but real life is hard. There's things people have to worry about, and sometimes problems can be just too much for you. And men are expected to do a lot more than women in society, which is why the male suicide rates are so high. Like, on the one hand, you're going to talk about how male suicide rates are high and no one is paying any attention, liberals, quote unquote, even though they're different from leftists. And then on the other hand, you're going to say that
every Gen Z kid thinks they're depressed. Every single one. Is it a chemical imbalance? Is it? Or are you just spending too much time on this? Are you not moving your body enough? Are you being programmed by all the same opinions that everybody has? This is toxic. I don't like, this is misogynist. Maybe that's the reason you're depressed. Maybe you should go outside. Maybe you should get some money. Maybe you should improve your life. No, stupid!
Are you fucking retarded?
Yes, Sneako, thanks, buddy. I was depressed inside, then I went outside, and now I'm depressed outside. Great. Must be all that free market capitalism. And you know, all these verbal outbursts are usually targeted at girls or, you know, young people, you know. Your problems aren't important. You've phone or some shite. Yeah, but does he extend the same sympathy to men?
Why would you want to be depressed? You shouldn't be depressed.
Okay, so then why was Etika depressed?
He had, but he shouldn't have been depressed. It's a better life if...
Oh, what's that, Sneako? The fella who did the thing isn't part of the group of people that you hate? Well, I guess it's justified then. I guess he had his own reasons for it, you know what I mean? I guess he really was struggling with his mental health and really was suicidal. But these Emilys, nah, man. They just made it all up because they're crazy and I hate them. Yeah, you see, and that's exactly how he's sexist, because he, on the one hand, blames women for having certain problems, but then on the other hand gives men justification for having the same problem, despite the fact that it's the same problem. You know, people like him also do a lot of this thing where they think a woman's value is determined by whatever man they're going out with or are married to. He also just criticises women like for the most random shite. And would you look at this fella, he can't stand women being happy for the life of him, like. Right, I give him like a random one. I'd be like, "Oh, I'm Aries or some shit," and they'd be like, "Oh my god, yeah, I can tell that because you're like this and you're like that and you do all of this shit." I'm like, "Nah, listen, look, I'm messing with you. I'm actually a Cancer." just to fucking see it look on their gobbin.
Like you trust a Leo and then boom, they're self-absorbed. Done.
Well, no, I'm just saying because a lot of people say, you know, you can't generalize because everyone's different, and I would just wonder why people would ask about zodiac signs.
I think everyone's different except for astrology signs.
Wrong.
That's why everyone's the same. So. I feel like they.
Bro, I'm gonna say it again. You ever seen two dudes?
Man, if anyone ever got me to moan like that, fucking marry me. Like
this happy? On a night.
Oh god, what's wrong with being happy, for fuck's sake? If they're happy at me putting up a finger like this, so be it.
Saying nothing. Have you ever seen this? For men to get this happy, yo.
Okay, you fucking dopey twat, man. Look at the state here, like. You innocent child, you fucking innie boy, you. You absolute gee-bag, man. What's wrong with being happy? What's wrong with smiling? Just because you're a fucking miserable twat that no one wants to talk to doesn't mean that everyone else has to be. You're acting like an absolute fucking see you next Tuesday. You know what I mean?
We need to do so.
Jeez, man. Would you talk about Andrew Tate already? Gran, hold on. I gotta make this video even more boring. Andrew Tate. Which clearly ties into this whole toxic masculinity thing and Andrew Tate. All of that concerning Sneako, right? And it is pretty fucking concerning. And clearly Andrew Tate has seen to have some kind of effect on him. What kind of effect? Well, he definitely looked up to Andrew Tate at some point. Now he does arguably even more. But when he's seen his channels going absolutely dog nowhere and Andrew Tate's is blowing up, not just on YouTube but on other platforms like TikTok and Twitch, Sneako may have gotten a wee bit jealous. And you know what they say, if you can't beat him, join him. So he just started parroting all his content. And this already goes to show that Andrew Tate really does have a cult of personality. You even see it with people like First Man, or as I like to call him, First Man on Earth, because he's a fucking ape.
I'm slightly ugly. Maybe I've got big ears like me. Maybe I've got a hook nose like the Roman nose, which actually comes from orthotropics. If you look into it, it's to do with having a weak jaw, maxilla falls down, this curves compensates the face turns. So you can do something about that. But just having the sort of traits you can't do anything about it, okay? Here's why it doesn't fucking matter. It's because there's so many.
No, it's a good coping mechanism, but was this a good idea? Absolutely not, because despite whatever Sneako might have thought of Andrew Tate back in the day, his ideas were definitely not congenial with Sneako's already persistent mental health problems and issues, which in my opinion just compiled onto him and made them 10 times worse. Yeah, so that's not good for him. Not good for him at all. Based. So why is it bad to be sexist, though? And this is exactly why sexism is bad, because you're not taught to be sexist by women, right? You're taught to be sexist by other men who don't have your best interest in mind. right? Who ruin your mental state like people do to Sneako. For all this like alpha male bullshit. So this isn't Sneako's fault, but to men like Andrew Tate, there's no I in team, but there is a you, and shut the fuck. Most of them are grifters anyway, it's all about the peas for them anyway. And sorry lads, but blaming women is actually crazy. They have a whole ass ideology meant for ye lot, you know what I mean? Called third wave feminism. But I don't blame women, I blame feminism. Poor man, when will you realise that feminism is actually a pro-male ideology, right? I know, mind blown, right? It's looking out for you, it's all about equality, it's all about intersectional issues. It's all about how the patriarchy that was created by our ancestors years ago still affects not just women, but men today also, in more ways than one, and I'm sure you know about it. And sure, there's some women part of the feminist movement that hate men, you know all about this, but sure, they can go get fingered by a fucking cactus for all they care, like, you know, fuck these women, like, you know what I mean? Most feminists, ye boys, they're looking out for you. And toxic masculinity, as we've established, is an anti-man ideology, right? So if you boys practice it, you're the biggest fucking hypocrites on earth. Do you want to be a hypocrite? You don't want to be a hypocrite. I don't want to be a hypocrite. That's why I'm a feminist. I don't call myself that because it's cringe as fuck, but I am. So fuck incels and red pillars, boys, don't listen to them. Right? They don't have your best interest in mind. Right? Not at all. They're fucking gaslighting the shit out of you, and you're willing to put up with it because, unfortunately, feminists haven't provided men with an alternative. They've called out the issue, but they haven't provided them with an alternative. And that's exactly what I'm here to do. And you're still here wondering, well, who's letting all this happen? Capitalism. It's capitalism. I mean, like, is there something I'm supposed to tell you? Capitalist conditioning. Now, if you're a Sneako fan, first of all, why? You probably think capitalism is great. And fair fucks to you, it probably might be great to you. You probably might be middle class, living in your old white picket fence, right? But there's a thing called working class, there's an underclass, right? It's not so great to them. Not the best system for them, right? And capitalism does everything. It says, we should make it more laissez-faire. We should do this, we should do that, improve it in this way, improve it in that way. Do fucking anything except have socialism. Because that will actually help both men and women. And they don't want that. Right? That's the thing that they don't want. Because every other way to, quote-unquote, improve capitalism, right, they'll still make profit. But if you get rid of it completely, oh, now that's a problem. How are these random like, gobshite words spouting off, like communism and capitalism and laissez-faire, just waffling about the place, you know what I mean? No, I get you. It is hard to understand, right? Walk you through. Now, Sneako is no stranger to being a firm believer in capitalism's idealization of the perfect world. In layman's terms, they want your stupid arse to work for them 24/7. 364 days a week and get fuck all in return while thinking you're gonna get yachts and Bugattis and all of this bollocks, right? You're getting fucking nothing off it, right? But people like Sneako think that if you work hard enough, if you pull your bootstraps way over your fucking head till your feet are blue, that's gonna get you somewhere. You're gonna get cars, you're gonna get this, that, and the other, and that's what they work for. That's what capitalism makes you think you want. Right, so you keep working for them, you stupid cunt. Meanwhile, while Sneako criticises capitalism, he doesn't explicitly want to call for socialism, because he's been conditioned by capitalism to think that socialism is bad.
He's a ticking time bomb, waiting to blow again. This film is, in essence, a study of what happens to man in solitude. How loneliness shapes him, drives him to points of insanity.
The culture and lifestyle of postmodern New York is becoming unbearable for Bateman. And I'd argue this is what the film is trying to tell us. It's a warning of how toxic corporate culture saturates our psyche, and most importantly stunts our emotional development. The absurdity of this postmodern lifestyle is then perfectly summed up at the Christmas party, where everyone looks the same and is only caring about business.
Let's see Sneako's red pill. Oh my god, look at that red pill.
And after this, he still tells his young audience that the only way to succeed is to be a dickhead corporate billionaire. Ditch the corporate even, he thinks you can be a good billionaire without being corporate. Just chilling in fucking the big island of Hawaii or something. But passing it off as a truth is futile because it's just a lie. It's like telling Islamic extremists that there's going to be 72 virgins waiting for them in heaven. It's like telling H3H3 that he's attractive to women. You know, shit just works too well. Some people really aren't coached to use their brains, and shit like that's really important if you want to be a free thinker.
Should get me a fucking ring light. Jesus, it's dark in here.
Nah, but for real. You know, Sneako literally ignores the fact that capitalism ruins men, right? Because capitalism, it neuters you, you know? It means, like, you know, you see in these scenes, there's no prey to fight, there's nothing to hunt, you're stuck in this, like, little corporate fucking lifestyle of yours, right? And what if I told you the stuff you could be fighting for is a revolution? Trying to install socialism, best this capitalist system that you live in. See, also what the truth about capitalism is that it neuters you. It commodifies everything, right? Meanwhile taking all your money. Which means you don't have anything to spend on healthy food, gym membership. Everything's too expensive, right? Capitalism takes away the means to make yourself a better person. Why not fight against it? Capitalism commodifies everything. It makes you pay for your health. It makes you pay for healthy food. Actual healthy food. It's really fucking expensive because farming is privatized, right? Factories are privatized. The food where it's produced and all of it's privatized, right? It costs a lot of money, right? And so you have to pay for your health, right? If you're not on the good side of capitalism, you as a man are fucked. You're gonna die, right? So why not fight against it? And then on top of that, socially, they induce this toxic masculinity into you. And like I said, my favourite equation, toxic masculinity plus capitalism equals suicide. Squared. And promoting it hurts more men than third wave feminism ever will. Now it's no wonder why so many men are depressed. And he always acknowledges this fact when women are at fault. And then in the same breath says shit like this.
Depression is so big for people my age, 17 to 25, that it's selling. Originally my thesis was that it's because everyone's fucking addicted to their phones. It's all day long staring like this, you know? Social media, constant updates. Studies have shown that getting an Instagram like releases a little bit of dopamine in your brain. And so the rest of the world, the shit outside, being in the cold, being near trees and shit, all this weird stuff, is not as exciting. The rest of the world is dull compared to what it is online. And so kids are getting depressed. Huh? The rest of the world is not as stimulating. That was my thesis. That was my reasoning. Huh? On their phones for 9 hours a day now, on average. Teenagers in the United States on their phone for 9 hours. People spend 5 hours laying on their side. Binge watching, man. Everyone binge watches, which is a symptom of depression. Like, honestly, if you 10 years ago you said someone was gonna lay down here on their side, on their bed, watching their laptop like this, eating junk food, it's like, are you okay? Is something wrong with you? You need to speak to someone? Huh? Huh? Wallow in sadness. I've been there. And for people like me, it's not depression. It's not. I'm not a depressed person. I'm overall not a sad person. I could if I wanted to.
What?
We're at the point where it's normalized by people.
Bro, what are you talking about,
society. Man? Don't lie there for 5 hours in your
Bro, I'm out, man.
Don't just lay there and get drunk and stoned all day. There's a lot of you out there, you're not depressed. You really do need to get over it.
So now you know. This is how it is. So Sneako, debate me, because you might have the gift of the gab, but every gift has a price tag, every gift has a receipt, yeah? So you might make it seem like you actually care about like all these young viewers you have, but I'm trying to prove to you that you don't. And so you should debate me, because you've nothing to lose. It costs nothing except the respect of your fans, which makes you make it seem like you don't care about it in the first place anyway, so go on. What have you got to lose? Absolutely fuck all. Debate me, Sneako. Be a real alpha male, because a real alpha male, whatever the fuck that means, actually cares about what the fuck they say and can back it up. So go on, Sneako. What, are you scared or something? I'm only messing though. Take everything I say with a grain of salt, because I know your whole channel is a grift. You don't actually believe the shit you say, right? You don't, you know, live up to the standard that you put out for yourself. You don't practice what you preach. So don't be surprised that no one's upset that your channel got taken down, because even your own fans don't like you. So as a tribute, everyone who Sneako's ever made fun of will have a toast. Let's all get together and rail Sneako's girlfriend once and for all. All 500 of us. You can't stop us all. And by the way, what's up with all this Nazi shite?
So, maybe you should do something about that, Sneako. Good chap, yeah?
Oh wait, you can't because your whole channel got taken down.